What's up, everyone? I have to make a correction on one of my videos. When I said I was overheating over at the track, and one of my potential solutions was an aftermarket oil cooler. I actually have an aftermarket oil cooler. It's the CSF one, and it's never given me problems. For those that don't know, when I was running a supercharger without an intercooler, I had no overheating issues. What I meant to say was I'm going to relocate the oil cooler. So with the front mount intercooler blocking the airflow to the car, I think relocating the oil cooler to get that direct airflow back will help with the temp. So that's going to be one of the solutions that I'm going to be working on to bring the temps back down after putting the front mount intercooler. And I got some parts in, and I'm going to share that today. Okay, per the recommendation of my mechanic, he said to go with an Earl's oil cooler. So that's what I got, and I ordered over at Summit. Let's see what it looks like. Do I even need a blade? Oh, that was simple. So there it is. So I think the dimensions of this is about 13 inches wide and about 7 inches tall. That technically has more surface area than the CSF one. I think the CSF one is about 3 inches tall and like 22 inches wide with my rough measurements. So surface area is the same as the CSF, but it is a little bit thinner. I think this is 2 inches thick, whereas the CSF one is 3 inches. So maybe sacrifice a little on the volume. I'm not sure how much that would affect the actual cooling, but at least the surface area is there. And I'm hoping that this will be sufficient enough to replace the CSF one. This is not bolt-on, this is a universal core. Yeah, so I gotta make some custom lines and brackets to mount it on the car. And I also got these brackets from Earl's, and I think it'll just help reduce the number of fabrication or custom brackets I need to make it work on the car. I got the bumper off again, and I wanted to show you guys where I plan on putting the oil cooler. I'm gonna put it here, and I will sacrifice this air duct, which is actually airflow to the brake rotor or caliper. There's also one on this side, but from the feedback from other E46 owners is with a big brake kit, I don't think losing this air cooling from this brake duct is gonna hurt the car. Basically, I think the temps are not overheating on the brakes even without this duct, so I don't think maybe it's even fair to call it a sacrifice, but I'm just gonna be prioritizing direct air to the oil cooler, which I'm gonna place here. The oil cooler currently sits way down there behind the front mount intercooler, and unlike before when there wasn't a front mount intercooler, it was getting direct air through the bumper, but with this in the way, it no longer has direct airflow. The other benefit of relocating this oil cooler, other than getting direct air, is I will then have that clearance freed up that was interfering with the intercooler piping. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the scoop and pipes that was directing air directly to the brake rotor and make space for the oil cooler. Okay, I got the brake duct out, and I think a lot of this brackets are part of the kit to kind of like hold that hose here in place that connects to this. Um, might be able to reuse some of this to kind of like hang the oil cooler off of, so I'll leave that there for now. And this is where the brake duct goes into. It's supposed to cool that rotor down. I took the wheel off and put the bumper partially on to kind of see the clearance back here. There's actually a lot less clearance than I thought. When I selected the oil cooler size, it was based on the opening of that bumper there, as well as the scoop for the brake duct. But yeah, it's like super tight. I think what I'm gonna end up having to do is remove this bracket that was holding on to the hose that went to the brake duct, because I think I'm gonna need that real estate. Because here's the oil cooler. As small as it looked, man, I could barely get it in there. I need to kind of like clear that corner there to make this thing fit in there. I got the bracket off that was holding the brake duct, and definitely have way more room now, and starting to feel a little bit better that this is actually gonna work. So I can butt this up pretty high, and I might have to notch some parts of the car to make it fit a little bit better. I might notch a little bit of the bumper support again up there, as well as the bottom bracket of the bottom of the splitter. And I did have to put the ports facing down, which is not a problem. There are 90-degree or even 180-degree fittings, but I think there might be enough room to get it in. Let me see if I could hold it with my other hand. So something like that, and have enough room down there. Oops. Let me see if I can get it from how it's gonna look on the other side. Hopefully it's in focus because I can't see the camera screen, but maybe something like that. Actually, it wouldn't look bad if it was here. It's not as bad as it looks. It's just got that airflow, so something like that. All right, that's it for today. Didn't seem like we did much, but it was more of like the unboxing of the oil cooler, as well as just getting some idea if it'll work, and brainstorming on how I'm gonna mount that thing behind the fog light cover. So I'll probably be playing around with it a little more after I take this video. But for now, that's it. Thanks, guys.